Andrew McInnis and Lawrence Presman. Looking forward to a fantastic show. And let's find some NHL winners here. I'm going to have Prez for 2 segments, and we're going to have Don Buster for 2 segments. Just a handful of days away, guys, from the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. Prez, been a long time, man. How are you? Good to see you.
Andrew, been a long time, that is for sure. Yeah, great to be here. Excited about the playoffs starting soon. Crazy NHL season, real transition season for a lot of teams. Teams like Ottawa and Buffalo and Montreal, Utah, Anaheim, even San Jose won't make the playoffs. And then conversely, Florida, Toronto, and some perennial teams, Winnipeg Jets. We're going to talk about them a little later. So a real transition year in the NHL. Not the best year for me in the NHL, but we've got a long playoff ahead of us. And yeah, I'm excited to watch some playoff hockey. I think we're only about 10 days away, even less.
Yeah, on Saturday. Saturday kicks it off. So cannot wait for that. Yeah. And as you mentioned, all 16 teams have now stamped their way into the postseason. Some teams figuring out who has home ice advantage, who doesn't. And right now, handicapping the NHL feels a bit like handicapping the NBA, except for during the entire season, trying to figure out who's in, who's not, who's resting, and who's not. Let's jump into our very first game here, as we're going to discuss the Winnipeg Jets and Utah Mammoth. The other games we will discuss, guys, didn't tell you: Devils, Bees, Penguins, Blues, and of course, myself and Don Buster will take apart the Montreal and Philadelphia game. But Prez, let's dive into this one here. Winnipeg and Utah. I know you were high on Winnipeg the last time we spoke. This Utah team just dropped 2 tough games on the road, 1 goal in both those games here. Winnipeg coming off a tough one last night. How do you feel about this game?
I'm mad at myself for not betting against Winnipeg last night. I had 1 play for my clients last night. It was the LA Kings that cashed. But I really should have played the Vegas Golden Knights last night. And the reason is really simple. Let me just start by telling you I like Utah tonight. I like them a lot. I like them on the money line, the puck line. I like them in regulation. I think they win this game by 2+, 3+, 4+ goals. I think this could be one of those 5-1 games. I don't think Winnipeg shows up tonight, flat out. And the reason is simple, Andrew. If you guys I've been watching the best betting show ever, my show that I do with Joe Ranieri and Art DeCesar on a daily basis. We have a Kelce, a poly market segment, a predictive market segment of the show. And I told you guys 2 months ago, Winnipeg was plus 900 to make the playoffs. It was actually 9%. And I told you guys to take that bet. And they got all the way up to 20%. So you would have doubled your money playing the poly markets with Winnipeg. I also did say that they would likely fall a couple of games short. And we were just trying to take advantage of the poly markets and how they go up in value. You were able to double your money within 2 weeks of that bet. Now we look at this game, and here's the bottom line. This Winnipeg Jets played their ass off, one of the best teams in hockey since the Olympic break. They had a really rough 12-14 game stretch way back in December, January that destroyed their entire season. This was a team last year that was, a Stanley Cup contender, and they didn't lose anybody. They came in with the same team this year, and they just had that horrible, horrible stretch. And in order to get themselves back in the playoff chase, they needed to play lights out hockey. Well, that came to an end when they lost 7-1 against Philadelphia. They outscored that Philadelphia team too, 28-23, just a game that got away from them. And after they lost that game, their season ended. And I think what we saw was just a massive adrenaline dump. I think that continues tonight. They are now playing for nothing. And I just don't feel like they're going to be able to withstand any type of emotional highs. As far as Utah goes, all of a sudden this Utah team is in a fight to avoid Colorado. And let me tell you something, that's a fight worth taking. They're only 1 point up on the LA Kings. Whoever ends last plays Colorado. The next team will play the Vegas Golden Knights. Not easy for either to play either of those teams, but man, the difference between Colorado and Vegas Golden Knights would be the difference between playing, say, the LA Lakers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Utah must win this. Why am I even talking Anaheim? Jeez, I'm all over I love Utah tonight.
You're right, though. No, I'm with you, Prez. I'm with you. And this is the time of year where you ask yourselves, which team cares more about it? And I get it. There's going to be upsets. There's going to be teams that are out of the contention.
Utah's in a dogfight tonight, dude. They got to win this game.
Means a hell of a lot. This game means a hell of a lot. Prez, look, I haven't been doing these as much lately, but I'm going to look towards the first period over here. And a lot of it is just due to the fact that I actually watched both of the Utah games the other day over the weekend. And I'll tell you what, this team did not generate the chances they would have liked to generate. But when I look at it as well, they're a team I actually trust their offense more at home versus on the road. They couldn't generate. They were kind of taking bad penalties. The coaching quotes, I'm not usually a huge quotes guy, was not happy. And as you mentioned, this is a battle to not play against Colorado. As far as Winnipeg here, you're playing for some pride. I mean, you got to come out here and do something.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, regardless, I don't care how they look. I just want the first period over to hit in this one. I think we'll see some action. You get in the way of lanes more. I think that the less defensive hockey in this game, the better it is for me.
I think we're going to see very little defense from Winnipeg for sure, Andrew. And I think ultimately you could take the first period over across the board moving forward and likely see that as a winning bet. I think, the days of, Philadelphia and Washington, Washington and Columbus tonight or Anaheim, St. Louis, and none of these teams are diving in front of shots. None of these teams are going to be forechecking their asses off. I think you're going to see a ton of space. I think you're going to see a ton of overs, and I think you're going to see a ton of first period overs. So I'm certainly not against that play, but I really do like Utah tonight, and that's a client play. Utah in regulation -110 against the Winnipeg Jets. So that's an actual client play. And my favorite play on board, although I do like Anaheim as well tonight.
Yeah, Anaheim as well for them. They got to go into the playoffs on a good note because it's one thing to make it, but go into the playoffs on a good note, very important for them. Prez, $5 Tuesday, WagerTalk.com here, of course, where people can find both of us. And, of course, you are on your show, the best betting show ever. People can get you there, but what do you have going for clients today? And I will tell you, I have a promo code for you and the rest of our panel here. It's PuckTime 50 for $50 off the rest of the NHL at WagerTalk.com. I believe wt.buzz/PZ or PZ, however you want to say it. But here's a promo code for you from me, Prez. But what else do you have?
Brother, I got a huge week in store. So as most of you listeners know, I play, 95% of my plays are 2% and 3% plays. I almost never have a 5% play. I've only had about 64% plays in the last year. So when I have these big bets, they are super rare, and they are my step out bets. I got a 5% NBA bet up for the first round of the NBA playoffs. It goes on Saturday. That's my third 5% play of the year in NBA, and I'm 2-0 in my 5% plays. So, this is my third all year. That should show you that this is not a cash grab play. This is not a salesy pitch. If I wanted to make sales, I would release 5% plays every week. This is integrity at its finest. I have 3. This will be my third 5% play. It's up on Saturday. Today, I have another big play, a 4% total bet in the NBA. I'm on a 12-4 run in my totals. I am 62% in my total bets, all my total bets since December 1st. It's in the play-in game. It's a total bet, and it's only $5. And when you buy that $5 package, you actually get a coupon inside to give you $15 off of my 5% NBA play. So, yeah, I got a really big card. As far as NHL, I have one play up, and you guys know it. It's the Utah Mammoth. So that's where
Awesome.
we're
Great
at.
stuff,
With what's
President. You
going
know,
on.
people know you for your hockey, but make sure you guys don't miss out on Prez and
Dude,
his basketball plays as well.
dude,
That's for sure. So,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Let me run you down something really
here,
quick.
let's do
Yeah,
one more game first, Prez. Then we'll
yeah,
revisit that
you
afterwards.
got it.
Okay,
You got
we'll
it.
do one more game here. Let's get to New Jersey and Boston here. New Jersey and Boston, talking about a playoff team versus a non-playoff team, and of course, we're talking about situations and positions for the Boston Bruins. But at the end of the day, the number here around minus 140 for the Boston Bruins. Is New Jersey a team that you're prepared to fade and you think they're done with it? Or could they play some type of underdog spoiler role here?
Well, let me start by saying the reason I'm looking to fade a team like, say, Winnipeg or, maybe Columbus or Washington, San Jose, these teams really were trying to make a huge push for the playoffs and came up short and now are going to have that adrenaline dump. That is not the case for the New Jersey Devils. A team like the New Jersey Devils, I think, comes into this game and wants to win it. I think they play loose, they play easy, and I think we've seen that. They just beat Ottawa and they just beat Detroit, and the game they beat Detroit, I mean, the Detroit Red Wings, that was as must win a game as you can get. I don't think Boston is coming into this game to play. I don't think it matters where the seeding lies in Boston and frankly anywhere in the East, in the East Division. This is not, trying to avoid Colorado. What are these teams trying to do? Avoid Buffalo, avoid Carolina. You avoid Buffalo, you might end up with Tampa Bay. You avoid Tampa Bay, you might end up with Montreal. You avoid Carolina, you might have Crosby and the Penguins. There's no seeding of substance in the East. I think the Devils get it done here. I think we see Boston just take a breath and start getting ready for the playoffs. I like the Devils plus 114.
Yeah, I think that the New Jersey Devils aren't happy with how their season finished, and I know that's not really a shocking statement to make by any means, but they're going to want to go out on a good note. So, Prez, we're seeing it slightly shaded towards the over here, but I'm going to actually go with the under. I actually like the under because you know what? The way I look at it is this. If the Bruins aren't going to come out and win this game, there's one thing that teams are going to have a message from their coaching staff, and it's defense, playoff mindset, defense. You don't have to go light the lamp, but if you're going out tonight and you're playing hockey, you better get in that mindset is kind of how I look at it. So, and if New Jersey cares about this one, they're going to give it their all, but I do worry about that block shot stuff we always talk about because it might sound funny to some people, but it's actually a real thing. I do believe in that.
Andrew, listen, I'm not going to suggest the over or the under, but I can tell you conceptually, I would stay away from all unders until the playoffs. Just stay away from them. You got a New Jersey team that has allowed 16 goals in the last 4 games. You got a Boston team that's priority is to not block shots this game. I don't think Swayman plays. Look, I'm not going to suggest I would lean on the over, but I would lean on the over across the board. So, So
how many teams are going to be locking it down defensively? That's the big question when it comes down to it. And we're even seeing some teams that are calling up players from the minor leagues, because they want to rest their players for tonight. The funny thing is we saw Carolina do that 3 games in a row and they still ended up winning even without half their players. So I'm curious how this one goes. I could see New Jersey. It's an appealing plus money price. And, we'd have to talk to Ralph about this, but I don't know if he could even be able to find this, but I'd love to know the record of non-playoff teams versus playoff teams, because obviously all these playoff teams are going to be valued as big favorites. So there's still money to be made on the non-playoff teams. Yeah. So, all right, Prez, 5% NBA, great NHL totals run. Let us know anything else you want to mention before you get out of here.
So what I wanted to say really quick, because you did mention that I'm known for my NHL, I want to just tell everybody that I have not had a losing NBA season in 4+ seasons. My playoff record last year, 30-20, 60%. The year before, 32-19, 63%. The year before that, 30-18. That's 92-57 in the last 3 years of NBA playoff betting. I kill it in the NBA playoffs, and I don't want you guys to forget that, because although I come on Puck Time and I talk a lot about the NHL, silently, look, I had a great college basketball season, and silently and consistently, I'm just destroying the books in NBA. So don't forget about my NBA. Guys, thanks for having me, man. Buster coming up next. You can check me out on the best betting show ever. Today's show will feature Art and Joe and myself. It'll be up around 1 p.m. Eastern. Be good, my brother. We'll see you in the next. Am I on again this week? I don't even know.
I am not sure. I believe next time I talk to you might be early next week, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Ciao, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys, $5 Tuesday, wagertalk.com. But I will mention 5% play goes for me tonight in the NHL, and promo code SOCIAL15. You guys can see it at the bottom of the screen. SOCIAL15. We are going for 7 5% NHL winners in a row. So I understand it's a little bit of a bummer on $5 Tuesday. 5% plays aren't $5. But when you're going for 7 in a row, when you're on a 14-4 NHL run, you guys can use that promo code SOCIAL15. Get involved. Join me. Or for myself, for Don Buster, for Carmine Bianco, for Lawrence Presman, PuckTime 50. $50 off the rest of the NHL. So why get my 5% play today when you can go ahead and get the rest of the remainder regular season plus playoffs, sides, totals, props, futures, $50 off, wt.buzz/AM. All right, coming out of the bullpen, we've got Don Buster, the arms all warmed up. He's locked and loaded, ready to go. Buster, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, everything's going all right, Andrew. Can't complain. Again, NHL playoffs are upon us, and that's a beautiful thing. That's for sure.
Oh, man. Every year I just get so excited. And I feel like we talk about these playoff races so much that you just want it to begin. And now we have all 16 teams figured out. We know who the teams are, Buster. Let's just get those games started.
Exactly. And this year's going to be even special for us, obviously being Montreal fans. And unfortunately, though, you get Tampa Bay that first round. So that's, you know what? You got to go. You have to win them sometime, right? You have to beat these teams sometime. So you might as well do it now. But it's going to be a tough one for sure. I think they're going to take them 6 or 7 for sure. They could beat them. There's no reason why they can't. And they'll be a bit of an underdog. So we'll see. I think maybe that may be the Montreal fan or diehard fan talking. But you know what? Isn't it time for Tampa Bay to kind of go in the background a bit? I think so.
Yeah, I'm tired of those Florida teams. I think they got to use their speed, embrace the youth. But let's talk about this Montreal Canadiens team here, Buster. They're going up against Philadelphia tonight. It's easy to put it this way. The number is just skyrocketing. It's moving.
Oh, my God,
up. If you want to get in fast. Philadelphia. And this is the thing, is that you're in, but you don't have any more motivation. Canadians are in, but they have motivation. For what it's worth, for people out there watching, this Montreal Canadiens team, if they get a point tonight, an OT loss, a regulation win, an OT win, all of a sudden they need Tampa Bay to lose tomorrow and they get home ice. If they lose tonight or get 1 point and then Tampa wins tomorrow, Tampa gets home ice. So, Buster, Philadelphia has minimal care in this game. And I'll tell you what, throughout the 6, 7 years, 8 years I've been doing Puck Time, not a long times where I'm going on and saying, yeah, the Habs are a great play tonight. But I remember, and I'm sure you remember this too, a week and a half ago, maybe a week ago, when the Canadiens clinched the playoffs, their next game was a dud.
Oh, big time.
They didn't show up. And you know what? Now, Philadelphia, shootout win, best game of the year for them, effort-wise. They went all balls to the wall, and now they're resting players. It's not always this easy, but it kind of feels like Montreal is the spot here.
Yeah, and you know what, Andrew? Like when I was looking earlier, and now things may have changed. Like you said, that line, it's gone up. I saw 195, 200, and that was about 20 minutes ago. So maybe even a half hour ago. That's so it almost tells you, even though I don't, if I believe so, I was looking about at that same time. Philadelphia hasn't really announced a lot of guys not playing yet. They might have by now, but the line tells you there's going to be guys sitting out for Philly, and they're on a back-to-back. And did you see them celebrate just when they won in that shootout last night? I tell you, you don't think there was a few hangovers in that locker room today? Guaranteed, because they're in and they can rest, and now they take a shot at the Penguins, which me and you talked about it yesterday. But you know, I say they got a puncher's chance against Pittsburgh, even though Pittsburgh's playing really well. But Pittsburgh's defense and goaltending is suspect. So, anyways, as far as this game, yeah, you can't to me, you can't even really bet the game unless you got it early. And truthfully, Andrew, if you notice, early it was 1:30 to start last night. And that's why we do a lot of stuff at night to get that best line. Tonight, obviously it's too late. But tomorrow and Thursday, you'll want to maybe stay up a little late and get some early lines here, because if you think there's a play or you think that teams are going to set a bunch of guys, it's very possible you can get a very good line. As far you could, I don't know what Montreal regulation is, Andrew, but the total I want no part of, because Lawrence was on here just 5 minutes ago, whatever, and he was talking about all these games going over. I totally agree with him. Like, I don't see any defense, as you guys are talking about. No shots blocked. Maybe Montreal will be one team. There's maybe a couple teams of the whole night that might play a little bit of defense, a little bit of hockey. But yeah, I can't bet the total here, because Montreal could easily win 4-0 or something like that. And if you can bet Montreal in regulation, I'd definitely grab it. But it's probably now, I would think it'd be 140, 150. I don't know. But yeah, looking forward to this Montreal Tampa Bay series. And like you said, Andrew, Montreal, if they can win tonight, who knows what happens when Tampa Bay goes to New York tomorrow? The Rangers are going to try. That's for sure. So, yeah.
And you know what? It might sound crazy, and I gave it some thought. I think you might have even talked about this with me. I think there's a world that Tampa Bay could actually rest players tomorrow. And I thought it might sound crazy at first, but we know one team cares a hell of a lot more about home ice than the other. For what it's worth, Buster, you can get minus 110 on the regulation price, which is a pretty good
Montreal
number
right now.
For Montreal tonight, yeah, not a bad number. Minus 192 in reg.
Right.
So the graphic says 160. That's how you know that.
No, that's how. And like I say, last night it was about they opened at 132 or 130.
Yeah,
but that again, maybe that regulation they're kind of holding it there only because Philadelphia hasn't. I don't think they really announced who's going to play. Right?
They just kind of teased it.
Yeah, Montreal regulation. I wasn't even truthfully when I looked at the game. I knew we were going to talk about it. I was trying to keep it very minimal because we're both Montreal fans, and we tend to go on about our team a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But
I got something for you here.
Okay.
Doing a show before this, good friend Jeff Dawson, he brought this up. We were talking about it. FanDuel and DraftKings already put up numbers, obviously, for the series, Habs and Bolts. Big price. But Buster, if there's a world we live in where the Flyers lose tonight and the Lightning lose tomorrow, we both know that home ice shifts things. That's the risk that they were willing to make for putting those numbers up early. So would you agree that if anybody likes Montreal to win the series against Tampa, and we're not being biased here, I'm talking as a sports bettor, you're better off taking it now, because if there's a world that Montreal ends up with home ice, that series price will be lower. Do you agree with me on that?
I totally agree with you. And I know you haven't been to the Bell Center or at the Forum back in the day when they have playoff games, and I have been fortunate enough to be at many, and there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing at all. The only thing close to me, it could be a Vegas opening when they were good. Not so much now, but the first, once they won that cup, it was crazy at the beginning. But Montreal's going to be crazy the whole way through. Now, because it's Tampa Bay, does it really cause any grief for them? But value-wise, yeah, I totally agree. If Montreal has the home ice advantage, they got a way better shot at winning this series. There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
Yeah. And you look at that current price right now, the current price is reflecting Tampa Bay having home ice advantage. So, guys, if you want to bet the Habs, bet them now. If you want to bet the Flyers tonight, I would wait and get the best number you possibly can. That's for sure. And a lot of guys talking about overs, minimal block shots. We'll see what ends up happening. Philadelphia calling up some players as we speak on the phones, probably with their AHL affiliates. That's for sure. So, Buster, as I've talked about, that deal, PuckTime 50, available for you at WagerTalk.com. A great special. I know you're red hot with baseball as well, but what do you have to mention today for us?
Yeah, I just have you guys have been talking about. It's a Customer Appreciation Day. I've got a NHL hockey game up for tonight. A game that I really liked. Although I made sure the parameters. I saw it early today, and I went through it, and I believe it's a very good play. Although I had and right now I'm not sure where the line is, but I had to set a high parameter on it because I know it will go up. Right. So, but nothing like, I don't think anything like this Montreal-Philadelphia game. But you mentioned about if you like Philadelphia. If you happen to think Philadelphia will bounce back after being out all night to about 3 or 4 in the morning, back to back, not caring, just going through the motions. If you do want to bet Philadelphia, I suggest to bet on the puck line. You probably end up getting plus 1.5, maybe minus 110, or even money come game time. So, yeah. But yeah, we have that, and like you say, that's a great deal for the guys that do the PuckTime show. Grab that for the NHL playoffs. Really good deal, that's for sure.
Well, Buster, you've heard of Martin St. Louis. Have you ever heard of Andrew St. Louis? Because here we are right now. I'm at the press conference talking to the media here. I had to make this going for 7 straight 5% plays tonight.
Look at you, Look at you.
6 in a row. So I had to put myself in Marty St. Louis' shoes for a minute and put this out here. So getting ready for the playoffs, cheering on my Canadians. I do have a 5% play going tonight. It is not involving that Montreal game, but had to make that little grab. Having some fun with the Photoshop.
I like it, Andrew. And I'll tell you, you had talked about being red hot. You've been unbelievable in your 5% releases, and even your hockey releases. Aren't you something like 14-3 or something crazy like that as well? So best of luck to you on your play. I don't know what it is, but knowing you, especially on a night like tonight, it's probably a team total. I could be wrong, but it might be. And anyways, best of luck. Grab that game tonight, and everybody watching, and everybody going to watch later. Grab that play from Andrew, because what's it going to be, 8 in a row after tonight?
I appreciate it. Hopefully 7 in a row, but you're right. 14-4, man. 14-4. So I appreciate it, Buster. We'll try and keep it going. And I know you don't want to be pumped up too much either, but man, your baseball right now is going pretty well. So we'll keep that quiet. All right. Let's talk about a team that I love and you don't really like as much. Here we go. Pittsburgh Penguins, St. Louis Blues. So this St. Louis Blues team really battling until the end right now. We'll take a look at Odds Logic for an update on the odds, but the opener was around 135 in favor of these Blues. How do you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, you know what? I actually gave out St. Louis at that number earlier for clients, and I put it in as a free play. It's the last home game for St. Louis tonight, but they kind of get screwed in the schedule. They got to travel to Utah for a meaningless game on Thursday. So I'm sure they're not too pleased about that. But like you say, they have been playing very well at the end of this season, even though once they got beat out of the playoffs. And I think it's because of Montgomery, right? I believe he's probably told these guys, okay, we're not giving anything up. That's just his nature. And you're going to play, and I'm going to evaluate you, and we'll see. Guys that don't want to play, maybe they're not here next year. So I think there's a little incentive for these guys that play for St. Louis, maybe even the superstars, because I'm sure he's a proven coach and he's done well with the Blues. And who knows, he might have the ear of some people higher up. And if the guys don't gel, guess what? They leave. So that's why I like the Blues here. Also, gotta believe, I know it's not out there yet, and me and you talked about this, Andrew, how Pittsburgh's got a ton of guys out. Now, on I think it was a Sunday, I could be wrong, against Washington, it seemed not till about 2 hours before the game where they said, Letang, Malak, and all those guys would play. I really, even though from the last time I looked, they all seem to be playing, I haven't seen anything lately, but I don't know why. Why would you play these guys, even if they want to play? If I'm coaching, sorry, Sid, I know you run the NHL, but you know what? I'm not letting you play. I'm not letting you get a freak injury. There's no way. I don't know. So I eventually believe you'll see Crosby and Letang and Malcolm. Malcolm, I think, is even a little hurt. So I can't see why they would play. And when that happens, I think right now it might be 140, 145. You'll see this thing skyrocket up to 160, 165. But in saying that, when guys don't play and stuff like that, you had mentioned about Carolina, Andrew. Well, yesterday I had the Rangers. And you know what? That game comes up tomorrow in the same situation. I bet the Rangers against Florida all day long. That's the problem with the NHL. A lot of times, it's not the problem. It's actually the beautiful thing we love about the NHL. You do not have to be the better team on a certain night, and you can still win. The Rangers dominated the rest of that game from the second period on, and then they give away the puck with less than 2 minutes and lose the game. That's the NHL. I don't really even think there's any other major sport, NBA, all that. Well, maybe NBA, they seem to come back on them. But if you're out playing your team, you usually win. Out hit the team in baseball, out pitch the team. Football, well, it's obviously if you're a better team, for the most part, you win. So that is the beautiful thing about hockey. I really believe St. Louis will get the job done here tonight. As far as the total, I kind of like it over a bit too. Like I say, I agree with the Prez. I think this is a game that because even if Pittsburgh doesn't play everybody, they still scored like 3 goals against Washington the other night. And St. Louis is just going to, again, they're not going to play defense. It's going to be wide open. Let's call it wide open pawn hockey. And St. Louis put up 6 against a Minnesota team the other night that didn't have everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something 5 or 6 again tonight. So, but I like as you get this price in St. Louis still, I take a shot because you know what, Andrew? Even if all those guys do play, how many minutes are they going to play in the third period? Right? Their minutes will be cut huge if they're that crazy to let these guys play. But who am I? I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's the thing is that when you talk about youth teams, like maybe they cared all the way up until the end. A team like Pittsburgh, Carlson, Letang, Malkin, Crosby, playoffs are on their mind. It's not the regular season. They are done with the regular season. Meanwhile, St. Louis, people forget, and some guys are talking about it in the live chat right now. The Blues have some young players as well, and guys playing for contracts. You talked about it, defensemen, forwards, even, in goal, it's important. So I think this price is probably where it should be, but I would probably argue it's not going to be the price by the end of the day. So again, sometimes it pays to have puck time earlier in the day, and sometimes it sucks because we don't know information. But right now, it's kind of beneficial because we can go ahead. So I like St. Louis here. I do. And to the point you mentioned about the over, it's like one of those things right now. Pittsburgh, I mean, you could just wake up and bet the over in Pittsburgh Penguin games the past 2 months, and you can go on as many vacations as Carmine goes on. It'd be unbelievable. You'd have all the money in the world. So, but Pittsburgh, I mean, the way they can score, 4 players, combined salary, $7 million, and they're all scoring 20-plus goals. Very, very impressive for that Penguins team. So, but to your point, Philadelphia's on deck, Battle of Pennsylvania. And the last thing they want, Buster, is injuries going into this game, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I got to believe that you'll see late today. That they won't be playing. But again, Crosby's a different animal, right? He might just say, I don't care. I'm going to play. But if I was his coach or even the GM or maybe even the owner, Sid, take the night off, brother. Take the night off.
This game opened up at a pick. I'm seeing at some spots now up as high as minus 150 on the St. Louis Blues. So
well, then it's happening then, because it was 130, I think, when I put it in, and I knew it was, again, my parameters were like the 160 or something, because sometimes it's a guessing point in some of these games, but sometimes it's not really guessing if you know the NHL. It's what should happen.
Yeah.
But again, what should happen and what does happen in the NHL.
Two different things.
Same thing. Exactly.
We got Steve in here, Robert, Kevin, Chuck, all kinds of you guys in here. Jesse, appreciate you guys. Some guy named Carmine is in here as well.
Really? Isn't he on vacation?
He wants to watch us. He wants some picks. He wants some winners.
There you go.
Then again, Carmine's been on a roll as well. So make sure you guys get Carm's picks. And Carm actually has a 5% soccer play going today. I believe a Champions League. So make sure you check that out. Who doesn't like making money in the afternoon? I know Carmine does. So
I might have to send him a little text and see he's got. Yeah, there's a couple Champion League games. So kind of
see what that play is.
I'll have to text him or at least Rob, because I'm sure Rob will know what the
yeah, I know he likes soccer.
Although he gave me 2 losers last week in soccer, Rob did. So
I know Rob likes really soccer too. But let's close it out here, Buster, because you know what? Playoffs are here Saturday. And right now there's some games that matter more than others. We've got some handicapping to do. There's still baseball going on, NBA playoffs getting going. Me and you, we got to talk about some CFL deal. I'll get you on my CFL show this summer.
Oh, definitely.
Can't wait for that to get going. But anything you want to mention before we wrap it up?
Truthfully, Andrew, you know what? I'm going to mention one thing. I don't know who decided this setup today. Like, I know when there's only one, like either you or Carmine, you usually just have one guy and you talk. And I know you and Carmine do the show on Mondays and Fridays for the most part, because you have a lot of segments. But I think whether it was the powers of be or you or whoever decided to do this, like have Lawrence come on for a couple of games and then me to come on for a couple of games. I think that's an excellent concept, and it might be a good concept to carry forward in the playoffs, because you're going to have 4 games here and there only when you and Carmine can't do the show. Like, of course, when you guys are doing the show, fine. But I think this is a good way. And I don't know. That's just me. That's just my thought process. I don't get paid to think. I know my spot on the pecking order on WagerTalk, but I'm just saying I wanted to end it with that. I thought this was an excellent idea. You get, so you don't get Lawrence just running in, running out, me running in, running out. Like, it just doesn't. Yeah, I actually, this is a good way if you guys are doing it by yourself. But there's my 2 cents. By
yourself. It's nice.
That's my 2 cents. And best of luck, everyone, tonight. And best of luck to you, Andrew, for sure.
Hey, always great chatting hockey with you. And it's, I love having me and Carm. It's we're partners, we're co-hosts together. But when it's just me, I can have both you guys one at a time, and that way it's not 3 of us on. Nobody wants to look at the 3 of our faces at once. We'll just keep it to 2 at a time with me and you.
Yeah. So, especially if I'm just sitting there and you and Prez are talking, because, you guys would take over and I'd be just sitting there going.
Yeah. And everyone's
and everybody's going to say, geez, Buster looks like he's pissed off. No, I'm not, but what are you going to do? Like, what do you do in the camera when you're sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes, right?
Exactly. Exactly. All right, guys. Again, that promo code is social15 for $15 off my 5% play. And you guys can use, once again, PuckTime 50 bucks off. Buster's NHL, my NHL, Prez, Brian, Carmine, whoever it is. As long as that person is found on PuckTime, then you can use that promo code. All right, Buster, good to see you as always. We'll talk to you. And, man, I can't wait for the playoffs. Go Habs, go, as always. And
always.
Now that you and I usually talk on Twitter, but now that I have your phone number,
Yeah,
You better be careful. I'll be calling you talking about the Habs when I need someone to talk to. So
yeah, well, you know, I have WhatsApp down here, so you can always WhatsApp me. But now that I have, it's funny. After 7, 8 years, you know, we always talked on Twitter, but now I grabbed your phone number the other day. So, oh well, whatever.
Carmine says, "Don't bet Rob's bets. He's a Man United fanboy." Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. All right, Buster, guys, WT.buzz/DBS, and for myself, WT.buzz/AM. Let's make today a winning day. 5% play for me, 3% play. Let's make some money. We'll see you guys next time, same place, right here on Puck Time.